Hello, everybody. This is new. We're live on a Thursday. This never happens. But welcome to Tales from the Forgotten Troop. And welcome to our first session of the Clockwork Chronicles, our new Tales from the Loop mini-series that has some steampunky vibes. And I think we're all very excited for that.
Woo!
But a few general announcements before we go around and introduce everyone and get into the game. If you have been with us before and you're enjoying the show, we do have links floating around to our beacons page that contain affiliate links, our coffee, and our current merch on Redbubble, so you can grab yourself something and throw some money our way. Maybe, depending on how things go, there could be some Clockwork Chronicles merch in the future. I'll talk to Jenna, see what we can do. You can also follow us on social media, keep up with updates about the show, and also join our Discord to really be involved with the chaos all the time. 24/7 chaos. Yes.
Yep.
Also
pets.
Yes, pets. And food and other crafts.
Soup. Lots of soup.
It is soup season. It is Maria's time. She is too powerful. It cannot be contained.
Much like a liquid.
Sure. Just put her. I guess that means you just need to put her in a bowl, and then she'll be contained. I don't know, but one other big thing is that we are continuing our Trevor Project fundraiser. It's been going on for a while, but if you would like to have an impact on the show, you can donate and deem an incentive and see what other kind of chaos you can throw our way. We have smaller rewards that are easily incorporated into things, but if it's a bigger sort of impact, that might have to be a holdover to the next week as I figure out what to do with that. But the highest tier reward that we have is to basically speak as the game master. So if you really want to cause some shit, go check that out. Okay, so let's...
Dangerous choice.
Very dangerous.
The caveat is that whatever you say has to be within reason to the story. So if it's like we're suddenly on Mars, that is not really gonna work.
And then settled Mars.
Suddenly a wormhole opens up in the middle of this small town and we're on Mars and you can't breathe.
Suddenly
Oxygen disappears and everyone dies.
I guess that's the end of the campaign.
Suddenly the Fire Nation attacked.
Oh! Turns into
Hopefully it was a fake definition.
Yeah, we just immediately switch systems. But let's go around and have everyone introduce themselves, tell us who you are, and who are playing this evening. I don't have an icebreaker this week, so we're dipping our toes into things, and those usually take us like forever and a half to get through. But let's go clockwise and start with Tess.
Hi, I'm Tess. I am playing Elizabeth Fine, who is the popular kid of the group. Also, her family owns the town. They're also assholes. So
Good.
Yeah.
Pacifica in
Wisconsin.
no, what is the show?
Gravity Falls.
Thank you.
Crow.
Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Crow, alternatively just Crow. And tonight I'll be playing the part of Janet Templeton, the rocker. Very much into music, very loud, very brash, very outgoing and extroverted. Boy, this is going to be odd to roleplay, but I'm here for it.
Forcing you out of your comfort zone. This is growth.
Oh, yeah.
We believe in you.
Character growth.
You just diss at me.
Well, I mean, we could just not believe in you if you prefer.
Yeah.
Oh yes, this is gonna
I'm
be. I think
actively-
this is our
We could
first stream with my adjusted mic, so now y'all can hear all my little vocalizations.
You can just
Yes!
say mean things to you instead. Because I'm not mean enough to you already. But let's swing down to Colin.
I am Colin Valentine. I am playing Dominic Jones, the weird kid who is a recent export from Russia. And that's all you get to know right now.
And nothing could possibly go wrong with that ever.
Nothing could possibly go wrong with that in the 80s.
The 80s. Psh.
There's no tension.
The pinnacle of
Not at all.
advancement. Darren.
Hello, I'm Darren. I'm going to be playing Parker Svensson. He's your resident bookworm slash good boy slash cinnamon roll type character. He's just a little bit of a shy, but mostly just a nice kind of person, I think. We'll find out more as we go.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Well, he's a little guy, but he's
Look at him.
I wrote down that he very recently had a bit of a growth spurt, so he's a little uncomfortable in his body right now because it's a lot taller than it was a couple months ago.
He's just a little big guy.
That's so cute.
Just your pants
He
are
was
just
a
a
little guy.
little too short.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
hate
exactly
that.
what I'm going for.
They're capris.
Yeah, that's what I
In
tell
Wisconsin?
Okay. And finish us off, Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle, known a lot of places as Technomancer Kyle, or YF Techno, or whatever. Today I'm playing Flynn, a computer geek. They, them. They're awesome. That's all I gotta say. That's all.
It's
They probably are the ones with the brain cell most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
Flynn-
never Janet's. I know it's never Janet's.
Flynn
Flynn and Parker share one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We shared the group's brain cell.
Yeah.
You can loan it from us if you need it, but that's it.
That turned off.
Listen, Janet, definitely don't have it.
Dominic has it when it comes to math.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only then.
That's it.
Oh, no, Liz has it when it comes to secrets. And
Dominic,
that's it.
Dominic and Liz
That's why their
share
hair
like
is
a
so big,
quantum
it's full
brain
of
cell. It only
secrets.
exists for them in certain situations.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We put it on loan sometimes for you guys. You can
Yeah,
borrow it for a
and
month.
they just have to pay it back. I mean, that's
Exactly.
how loans works. You know, there's interest.
There's interest, of course, compounding. Yep.
Yeah.
If you ever develop a brain
Wow.
cell, it belongs to me.
Yeah.
If you ever learn
develop-
a thing.
Develop your own brain cell and it's immediately snatched away.
Just no.
But
Your brain gets a wrinkle. Now it's ours.
Isn't this the
Alright.
plot of Baldur's Gate 3?
I don't know. I haven't played that game.
It's
So,
so good.
I haven't gotten it into the second act yet, so I have no idea.
okay.
There's a
Let's
second act. Anyway, carry on.
let's go ahead and jump into things. So, to give all of you and our viewers a little bit of background, year is 1985. We see the camera pan down across the small town of North Pass, Wisconsin, just a couple of miles from Lake Winnebago. We see an unmarked delivery van moving through the streets of North Pass in the early hours of the morning. A driver in a jumpsuit steps out, carrying a small cardboard box. They bring it up to the porch of a house and leave it there. Get a nice little shot of the Rick Synergy logo, where the driver returns to the van and continues through town. As each of these boxes are brought inside by parents or kids who were excited at the prospect of an early morning delivery, we see them get ripped open and small clockwork pets are removed. Little mechanical animals that fit in the palm of their hands. That was about 2 weeks ago. Now it's very rare to see a child without one of these clockwork creations around town. The time of year is early October. The weather's starting to get colder, the leaves are changing, and them even falling and piling up on the sides of the road. We're far enough into the school year that things are back into a routine, but it's still not too early in the school year that kids aren't already thinking of winter break. Dreaming for those days off and sleeping. So we're going to got a little scene for each of you of everyday life. Kind of produce you, get in the flow of things. We'll just see where it takes us. So, let me put on slightly more appropriate music here. Okay. We're gonna start with Parker.
It's me.
It is. So what is your morning routine like? Are you usually up and ready to go before your mom gets home from her shift? Or are you usually woken up when she gets back?
Yeah, I usually have to get woken up because I'll stay up way too late reading the night before. Yeah, my mom works the overnight shift usually at the diner, so she'll leave and then I just stay up way past bedtime reading as much as I can of whatever the most recent fiction book is that I've got. Usually I'm woken up and I've got, you know, the book still open next to me. I actively fell asleep while reading it. It's caused a lot of headaches though, because often the pages will shift and I'll lose my place and then I got to find it again.
It's even worse
yeah.
when some of them get crumpled.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, morning routine is usually like I get 2 to 3 wake up calls from mom, and then eventually I'll wake up from it, and then just throwing on my clothes. I have a hoodie that's I like to wear that's pretty comfortable. A few sizes too large, but makes me feel comfortable in it. And yeah, then get ready and meet my mom down for breakfast.
You turn the corner and see that there are already some plates on the kitchen table. Mom is carrying over another plate with slices of toast on it. Sets it down on the table. She's still in her work uniform from the diner. The little name tag on her shirt that says Jennifer. Smiles at you and is definitely looking a little tired, but that's not too out of the ordinary because she's been working all night.
Mm-hmm.
Gestures for you to seat.
Perfect. Yep. I go sit down, or right before I do, I double check to make sure that she's got that she's got everything she needs. If she doesn't have a plate yet, I go to grab her a plate. Just make sure that she is also getting food and sitting down with me, and that she's taken care of before myself. Even though we kind of are at war with each other over who can do the most for the other person. But yeah, and then I'll go ahead and sit down and start eating, and then yeah, just like through like fistfuls of food, I'm just like, how was work?
Good. Be quiet night. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Had a few of the overnight crew from Work Synergy. They came around and had their lunch break. Nice to see them and chat a bit. Went through a lot of coffee, but
Okay,
it's how it is.
Oh man, coffee's gross. And then I go back to eating.
Saying that now,
Yeah.
but may learn to love it in the future. How's school been going? Everything all right?
Yeah, so far so good. I'm finished all my homework last night. We got a new essay that I got to start working on. Is it too early of a grade to be doing essays?
No, you're in high school.
Oh, fantastic! I'm doing essays. Yeah, got an essay I'm working on. But yeah, no, pretty straightforward. I finished really early, so I started reading through my my Western novel that Tom suggested for me. So enjoying it. And then I go
Please,
into like a
please
really deep.
Come
Go
up,
ahead.
please come up with a name for this Western novel right now.
Oh God. Uh,
If you don't
Sinners and
spell-
Gunslingers.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm writing it down so that I can carry it with me wherever I go. Sinners and Gunslingers. All right. But yeah, I immediately then go into just completely describing way too much detail about the book, to the point where I know that or I start to see her like get disinterested, and then I quiet back down and go back to eating. Or I assume she's disinterested.
Yeah.
But I tend to do that where I'll just get like super hyper fixated on like a book I'm reading and then want to tell everyone about it. But yeah.
I don't think she ever actually shows outward disinterest in what you're talking about. She listens carefully and nods along with a smile on her face.
Yeah. I guess when I see her start to get tired, I slow down a bit.
Probably at some point she finishes the cup of coffee she was drinking, contemplates getting up and getting another one.
Mm-hmm.
But once you kind of go back to eating, has a few more bites of her food and says, "Are your friends doing all right? You'll see them often around school?"
Oh yeah, not so much at school, but bus ride. We're seeing each other the whole time. I keep trying to get them to also read Sinners and Gunslingers. I don't know if it's working, but I think they'd all really like it.
Them down and read some of your favorite parts. Get them interested.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. Hang on, I'm gonna go grab my book. I go and grab it, and then I start bring it back and start taking notes at the table of like what pages to start at. I don't write in the book, like I would never highlight inside a book, but I am taking notes on a separate scrap piece of paper.
Okay. Your mom just lets you continue on with what you're doing for a while as you, I imagine, like, are halfway paying attention as you're eating your breakfast, just like one hand on the toast and the other hand like flipping through pages and taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually she finishes up her food and you finish yours, and she starts to collect the plates and clean off the table.
I 100% help with that. But yeah.
She probably lets you get so far as carrying them over to the counter next to the sink, and then smooths your hair down a little bit and gives you a kiss on the forehead. Should run off to the bus stop. You don't be late for school.
Yeah, you're right. I'll get my bag. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for breakfast.
Oh.
And yeah, I'll get up, I'll grab my things and head on out. I also grab, I don't know if we're going into our Clockwork pets yet, but I definitely grab.
You would already have
him
it.
as well. Fantastic. I've got my little, it's a little Clockwork mouse. And it's all morning has been sitting on my shoulder. And it basically just stays there all the time. Some people wonder if it's still working. It is, but it just sits there on my left shoulder the entire time.
Okay. Let's over to Flynn. What does your morning routine kind of look like?
So I think Flynn's morning routine would be woken up with a probably for lack of a better term duct tape, like for lack of a better term, a duct tape together alarm clock that's actually attached to the computer, releasing some MIDI format music right when it's supposed to go off, so that they wake up before everyone else, able to gather their things, probably have some toast as they get out and go outside, just to be outside before anyone else is moving around.
Okay. Do you just hang out around the house outside? Or somewhere specific?
I think, depending on how much time they feel like they would need, sometimes they might go early. If they feel like they have enough time, they might go early to the junkyard, or just kind of walk around until something interesting happens. So
I'd say really different than your morning typically go this time, as you are finishing up breakfast and starting to head outside. Hear the beginnings of an argument upstairs from your parents' room. It's kind of muffled and incoherent at first, but then one of them pulls the bedroom door open and their voices come through clearly, and your mom's voice kind of angrily pleading to your father, like, I'm just asking you to be around more and be more involved with the family. All you do is work and then come home and drink and sleep. And he scoffs and says, be more involved. All I do is go to work and provide for this family. What more do you want from me? Like, can't you just take care of everything at home? And it kind of develops into this, keeps heating up more and more, and finally he just kind of like screams and is like, can you just get off my back for once? And starts to angrily stomp down the stairs, but you have enough time to sneak out the door before anyone's like.
Yeah, I think that's what Flynn would easily try and do, just sneak out the door. If expecting him to go through the front, probably then would go through the back and then head directly to the junkyard for a couple of seconds before the wraparound.
Yeah, your father typically would either go through the kitchen to get to the door that connects to the garage or the front door, but your backyard is up against the junkyard, so the fastest way to get there in general would be to go out the back door and then move the loose board in the fence to slip through, get into the junkyard.
Yeah. So then Flynn would definitely go there, especially now, probably a little shaken, and would eye out looking for just something to use up their mind, like something that just seems broken. Maybe there's like a car that was already a project that Flynn had known, and just starts tinkering, seeing if it could get it to go while just trying to de-stress a little bit from what they overheard.
I'd say there's probably easily have a car that's in progress trying to understand how it works and repair it that you can go to. What do you imagine this car to look like?
I am thinking of some 1970s muscle car. Probably had been in not necessarily a totaled wreck, but like a big enough wreck where insurance says it's totaled.
Any collision towards the front of the car, and then it's like, that's done.
Yeah. And so just kind of like tinkering with trying to get it to function again, make it street safe, even though it probably will never hit the street again, but you never know. Probably I'm thinking it's a muscle car, and it's probably a very light purple, I think is the color. Yeah.
Maybe with some racing stripes?
Yeah, we'll say some white racing stripes on the side. Or at least what used to be white racings. Maybe some of that stripe had been peeled off.
Peeled off or covered with dirt, something.
Right. Yeah. And then once enough time, maybe when starting to hear other people leave or other vehicles drive, kind of like, okay, it's time to go to the bus stop, make their way to said bus stop to meet up with people.
Yeah, the fairly soon after you go into the junkyard to escape the family situation, you do hear the car start from your house as your father angrily gets inside and drives off to wherever he goes when he doesn't want to be at home and doesn't have to be at work. Have some extra time to yourself. It's probably still a little dark. The sun is like coming up, so the sky's lightening sooner than it would be since we're not in the throes of winter yet, but definitely with the time you get up is not as bright as it would be in the low summer.
No, Flynn would definitely be normally trying to wake up much earlier than them. So this is very uncommon, or not, maybe not uncommon, but not the goal.
Yeah. And before much longer, you do hear other cars that are starting up in the neighborhood and heading out. Once there is enough sort of noticeable traffic out beyond the boundaries of the junkyard, you can go back through that little opening in the fence and then head around the front of your house towards where the bus stop is. Next, we'll move over to Janet.
Ah, yes.
What are you typically up before Davy?
I was thinking yes. And I think the whole house knows it, because I think the first thing Janet does when she wakes up is grab a cassette off the nightstand, doesn't matter what it is, jam it into the sound system, and just full blast it to get herself up and running.
Okay. What's this like morning scene look like as we get the shot of her picking up the cassette tape, slipping it into the player and snapping it shut, and then just slamming down on the play button, maybe having to crank the volume a little bit, but what does she go about doing after that?
I think as like the song is ramping up, she sort of steps out of her room. If she has decided pajamas were worth it, they are raggedy and well used. And just insane bedhead. Always the bedhead. And like as the song starts to pick up, she like takes a couple steps down the hallway to Davy's room and sort of, come on, time to get up.
Just hear a groan from inside. Like,
I know. And I'll head to the kitchen and I will start making breakfast for the two of us.
okay. I would say Davy typically likes cereal in the mornings. His favorite is Fruit Loops, definitely because of the can on the box. But as you are rummaging around, like probably going to pull the box out of the cabinet, you see that there is no cereal box there. Start to poke around a little more. It looks like Mom hasn't gone grocery shopping. Like there's no bread or toast. There's like a half full carton of eggs, a little bit of milk left.
Okay.
This is definitely not super common, but it has happened other time fairly recently.
And every single time, Janet's just shaking her head, but also like, gotta keep moving. You said there's eggs?
A half a carton of eggs. And you
Probably
also, as you're kind of like rummaging around too, you do find bits of like pot roast and potatoes left over from Sunday dinner.
Perfect. Fully loaded scrambled eggs it is. There's probably like some shredded cheese in the drawer or something.
Yeah, probably a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit of cheddar in there.
Just grab the pot roast potatoes and eggs and just put it all in a skillet and whisk until fluffy.
Pretty soon, like right as you're finishing up breakfast, you do hear the sound of feet behind you as Davy comes the kitchen and kind of yawns loudly.
Morning.
Morning. Brown and goes over and sits at the table.
Serve up the scrambled eggs.
He stares down at it. Fruit Loops?
Not today. We'll grab some on the way home, okay?
Start slowly eating.
So, what was last night's book about?
He decks his head a little bit to hide a smile and says, "Moose."
Now those are the guys with the flippers, right?
Come on, Janet. You know what a moose is. They have the big antler.
These?
Yeah,
Big
those.
these?
Yeah, those. Barrel a car right off the street.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Think we could train one, use it as a mascot?
I don't know if that's the best idea.
Oh, come on. It's a great idea.
Might not like your music.
Oh, slain by my own brother. Oh. Everyone has a favorite song. Don't you forget it.
I don't know everyone has a favorite song, but like, might make the moose mad. Then what are we gonna do? We're gonna have a rampaging moose.
Well, that's what we want to have if they're busting down cars.
I'm not so sure about that. I don't think Mom would like a moose in the house. Probably poop everywhere.
Yeah. You'd like some Fruit Loops in the house. So, I think Mom can deal with the moose.
You can ask her if we can get a moose.
Little trick for you, little brother. Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. Alright, now eat up. I still need a shower.
Just keeps hunkers down and digs into his breakfast. And I don't know if you would finish first or you would let him finish first, but
Janet probably finishes first, just because that's sort of like the cycle they have of like she gets done with everything she needs to do first.
he gets ready
like, the
first.
like
She does the. He gets ready first. She does the breakfast, and then she goes up to get ready when she's. She'll finish and sometimes does the dishes. Sometimes.
Janet's not too plussed about that. There is absolutely one scene of just like the bathroom full of hairspray as she is just like fully punking out her hair.
See a huge hairspray cloud coming out of the bathroom.
Yep. Goes through like a can a week at minimum.
I'm sure Janet's mom is super duper happy about that.
Oh yeah.
But you can finish getting ready, and eventually you and Davy can head out to the bus stop.
Oh, almost forgot. Oh. And Janet will whistle, and the hummingbird lands on her shoulder.
I think every time you do that, Davy gets a little sparkly-eyed. Like, oh.
Actually, cool. Does Davy have one?
He does not.
Okay. I think if that's the case, then Janet will sort of like gently pick up the hummingbird and sort of hand it to him. Like, I imagine this normally happens in the morning, just lets him ooh and ah over it.
Let him carry it till you get to the bus stop, and then
Yep.
gives it back to you. Cradles it in his hands and looks it over, and two of you can head out, lock up the house behind you, and head down the street towards the bus.
Janet does not turn off the music, by the way.
Does she have, is it like a little battery powered boombox, or does she have like or just, do you mean like she doesn't turn off the music before they leave?
She doesn't turn off the sound system before they leave.
Okay. So it's just playing all day. All right.
Well, that and also to annoy the parentals.
But we get this sort of transition scene as all of you load up on the bus and head to school. And a bit later, Elizabeth, you are hanging out with some of the other popular kids, Veronica and Rebecca. And Veronica is retelling something that happened earlier in the day. She's like, oh my god, can you believe Danny asked me out? Like, so gross. I would never go out with someone like him. Are you kidding me? And just like, ugh. He's obviously lost his mind. He is been close to being in our social circle. Like, I didn't think he had a chance. He's not on the football team. He's not on the basketball team. Does he have any real prospects? He's probably just gonna like do what his dad does and work at Rick Synergy when he's older. So he's staying in this small town. What do you think, Elizabeth?
I think Elizabeth pauses because she kind of definitely zones out when these two are talking about gossip that isn't particularly interesting. She really doesn't care about their love life unless it's something that's is juicy and she can use for a future event. But I think she said, she recognizes Rick's synergy though, and she's like, she says, well, if he's legacy at Rick Synergy though, didn't they just distribute a bunch of toys for free? Those fancy Clockworks? He could have prospects.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that his dad isn't in any sort of management, just like an assembly worker or whatever. So, yeah, I guess he can go build things.
Smarts can run in families, though. As can money.
I don't know how much money a low-tier Rick Synergy workers. Maybe if we're talking like middle management or high management.
But you're looking at the smaller picture. A beginning tier can get their child a foothold, and a foothold can be expounded upon to make oneself in a better position, can it not?
Maybe.
It just depends on how smart this Danny is and how he utilizes his opportunities.
Kind of a geek, so. Know what his plans for the future are. He might want to go to college, but
I would say look for ambition if that is. Look really beyond high school.
Doesn't really seem like cutthroat though.
See, that is a more standing argument than he's not on the football team.
And I think Rebecca chimes in, like, you could help him. Like, talking to Veronica. Like, Veronica's like, really want me to invest my time in morphing this kid into a diehard businessman? Is that really where we're going right now? Really?
I'm just saying there's potential there if you choose to go, if you choose to seize it.
Maybe. She kind of gets a little quiet and is definitely deep in thought, thinking about all of this. While she's doing that, Rebecca probably, her interest shifts and she probably pulls out like a little cosmetic mirror and is checking over her makeup and her hair and just making sure it looks good as you're all
Are
walking through the
these
hallway.
two, are there animals on display?
Yes. One of them has a little miniature horse. Veronica has a little miniature horse. And Rebecca has a little, like, bluebird that is... She probably has her hair pulled up into, like, one side ponytail. And the little bluebird has, like, nested in the little dip between the ponytail and her head. So it's just, like, kind of sitting up there like little hair decoration.
I will say that Elizabeth is immaculately made up. Like, she never leaves the house without being outfit on point. If only because she knows her parents are going to give her so much flack.
They give you a once-over before you leave.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing is her mechanical animal is hidden at school. I think her parents probably saw it and said that it should never leave. Or like it's not fitting for someone like her. So I don't think anyone at school knows what it looks like.
And no one at school knows what it looks like, but everyone is curious about it because at this point it is very, very uncommon for someone to not have one at school.
Have one, yes.
Not even just like have one in general, but like to not have one in school because everyone is like, look what I got. And no one really cares to try and stop everyone from bringing their little clockwork machines in.
Teachers weren't paid enough for that.
Yeah, it's just a fight they're gonna lose.
It's cell phones before cell phones were a thing.
The chewing gum of my high school.
She has a bluebird in her hair. She already has access to Twitter. No.
Fitting.
Okay. Then the camera kind of shifts again further down this same hallway, and we see Dominic walking through the hall. People are gossiping and whispering about you. This is not new. Imagine you've just kind of gotten used to all the whispers and the voices that follow you around.
Yeah.
But there are two guys that make trouble for you at school. You probably glance up and see them coming down the hallway towards you. They don't make any moves at first, but once they get within range, one of them like shoulder checks you into a locker and says, "Go back to Russia, you fucking commie." The other one laughs and like turns around and knocks the books out of your hands, and they both kind of erupt in laughter, and a lot of other people are like looking over at what's going on. How do you react to this?
Um, probably just very little. Dominic stoops over, picks up his books, and says, like, you should be careful or I'm going to call Russia and have you put on a list.
I think one of them scoffs at that, and it's like, oh, gonna go crying to mommy?
At that, Dominic just kind of like straightens up because he was like walking like slumped shoulders, and it's just sort of like, what did you say?
He turns and faces you and gets like probably really close and puffs out his chest a little bit and said, gonna whine to mommy?
At that point, whatever book is in Dominic's hand connects with his face.
Go ahead and roll force for me.
Force.
So you are going to, the total number of dice that you roll is going to be however many points you have in force, and then the associated ability, which is body. Yep.
So 5.
Our first roll of the game. Here we
Roll,
go.
so
I was about to say, let's do it.
5d6s?
Yes, you roll 5d6s, and then we're looking for any dice that have 6s.
I believe in you. I believe in you. You got this. First roll. Make it
5 dice
happen.
should be fine. Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Move those out of the
No
way
rate.
so to know which ones are rolling. Okay. I did not get any 6s.
Oh no.
Hey.
No, we were counting on you.
Okay. All right.
These dice are rusty. They haven't been rolled in a while.
This does not bode well.
Rust. Yeah, we'll say rust.
All right. So you hold the book back and are going to like slap it across this guy's face, but he lifts a hand and stops the book dead in the air, and places a hand on your chest and pushes you backwards into the lockers, kind of knocking your head back so it cracks against the metal, like where the little slats. Ugh. The slats are at the top, so it digs in a little bit. Maybe drawing some blood. I don't know, it's hard to tell right now. And then they just kind of laugh before walking off, and I would like you to mark upset. But as this scene is kind of playing out and these bullies walk off, just leaving you there with a book in one hand and the rest of them on the floor, Elizabeth, you kind of hear this commotion down the hall and get a glimpse of what's happening. Do you do anything in this moment?
I think Elizabeth starts whispering to the group around her, knowing that they'll spread stuff. Wow, how big of them. 2 against 1. He's just getting to know the new school, and so very brave.
Where did it go? Go
You're looking for a
ahead
skill, probably like
and
charm, right?
yeah, go ahead and roll charm for me.
So is this my charm skill plus the
Plus heart.
base skill? Okay.
Yes. Yep, that will give you your dice.
That
pool.
is good.
Yeah.
How many are you rolling? If you don't mind me asking.
8.
Ooh, damn.
Okay.
Nice.
I think that's literally the max you can roll.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
I maxed charm and I'm rolling 7. Sorry. Contact and lead are my 2 tops.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Charm's at 2, so
Still pretty good.
and that was the die on the ground. That's 2 6s.
There we go.
Okay. So, since you have an extra success, you can buy an effect if you want. The options for charm are: they keep believing you. You have formed a lasting relationship. They will take risks to help you. They will try to persuade others to believe you. They are frightened, confused, or impressed, or they're infatuated.
I want that belief. I want this to spread that they're being bullies and picking on someone who essentially is they're doing something far beneath them, and they should be looked down upon for this. This was not.
Okay.
This was picking a spot that hurt him was low hanging fruit in this situation.
Okay. I think that falls under they will try to persuade others to believe you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you say that, and it definitely, like, Veronica and Rebecca are just like, they've always been kind of classless and dirty fighters. Like, what are you gonna do? And then the people around you who are always kind of listening to the popular kids, like keeping an ear out to see what you're doing, what you're talking about, and the whispers just start to spread throughout the hallway. But is there anything else Dominic would do in this situation, or just kind of keep his head down and move on?
I think at this point, just like having had the insult about his mom and then being slammed into a locker, he's just going to sit there for a while. And then if once he realizes that people are probably watching and staring, then he'll just gather his stuff and leave.
I mean,
whether that's to class or just flat out walk out of the school.
I think you probably hear the explosion of whispers, and I imagine there's this moment where you look down the hall and your eyes and Elizabeth's eyes meet through the crowd. And some people do hang around a bit, but the bell rings and the hallway starts to clear. People go to class. So you would like to go to class too, you could, or you could stay there in the hallway as it empties.
He's not going to class.
Okay.
He'll just stay in the hall.
Okay. Does Elizabeth go?
I think Elizabeth waits to make sure that A, that those two don't come back, and B, she figures she has a little wiggle room with
the teachers.
Teachers, that she can make sure Dominic is okay before she just leaves him in the hall.
I imagine there's been times before where you've ditched your friends, so when they're just like, come on, Elizabeth, and you're like, yeah, hang on, I'll be there in a sec, they're just like, whatever, and they kind of leave you to do your own thing.
Yeah.
So eventually the hall empties, and it is just the two of you, like 10 feet apart in this hallway.
I think Elizabeth does close the gap and attempts to like pick up anything that's still scattered. And
so as she's picking it up, Dominic kind of like hastily grabs it from her and says, like, I don't need your pity. But then kind of quietly says, but thank you. And then just walks off as fast as he can.
I don't think she necessarily follows, because I think she doesn't want to push it right now.
Yeah.
It's obvious that he is hurting and wanting to lick his wounds a little bit, so.
Yeah, like, he appreciates it, but he's not going to say that loudly.
Yeah. So she'll make her way to class.
I think that you get there, the teacher's like, do you have class? And you kind of just, sorry, what happened again?
I got stuck in the bathroom.
All right, take your seat. But here I'm actually going to open it up a little bit to all of you and see if there are any scenes you would like to have with each other at school. You basically have the rest of the school day to interact or explore things. there's anything. I'm the as the day goes on, the encounter between Dominic and the bullies has definitely been conflated to a fight. So all of you absolutely hear about this fight between the new kid and the school's biggest bullies, Ricky and Jackson.
I think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Metal.
All right. I would. I know that Parker would actively seek out Dominic after hearing that. Just make sure that he's okay. Whether he's successful on that depends on if Dominic's hiding at all or just going about his normal business.
Dominic, after this incident, goes and camps out in the back corner of the library.
Yeah. We know where Parker knows the ins and outs of.
Yeah, I think that
Library.
he goes there often enough because it's
Yeah.
quiet that the librarian just kind of accepts it at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see him show up because he's not gonna leave if I tell him to. So sure, he's not here.
The
Yeah.
door opened and no one came in. How mysterious. I
Yeah.
didn't see a thing.
And he just goes like
Fine.
sits in the back, like between like a corner where bookshelves are like meeting, and just like reads or sits quietly or whatever.
I want to say that Flynn is actually with you since you're checking on him, just because it would be kind of fitting for us both to be there.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I've got like first I stopped to deposit the book that I had loaned out, but yeah, then we can I'm gonna head basically right over to Dominic. The way that I want to approach this is knowing that things are kind of sore. Would we let me ask you this, Dominic, would we know that the mom thing is a sore subject, and also would we have learned that that's something that happened in the interaction?
So it's an open thing. Like obviously the mom thing's a sore subject because like on the first day at school it's like, oh, tell us about your parents, right? He's like, oh, my dad this, oh, what about your mom? And he just like shut down.
Got it.
So it's like no one knows why, but everyone knows that it's like this gets a reaction out of him. So his friends are like, oh yeah, don't bring it up. And the bullies are like, definitely bring this up.
Okay, so this has happened before probably
Yeah.
as well, but yeah, okay. So I'm coming over to less. I'm gonna like give you a visual check, make sure that you don't have any like you don't have like a bloody nose or something, and then I think the way that Parker kind of deals with this sort of situation is just to be like, hey, do you mind if we sit over here? We're just going to do some homework.
To which Tom replies, I've been told this is a free country.
Amen. Hallelujah. All right. And then Parker's going to just take a seat. And then I think we're going to kind of go about business as usual is how I'm going to do it. Flynn, if you want to do something else.
Yeah, because
I want to be there for him without prying at all, really.
Oh, Flynn wasn't going to pry, but Flynn would actually be like, should I look over? Do you have any cut? Like, it goes up to Dominic and be like, do you have any cuts? So do I need to like look you over? Are you good?
Dominic kind of just looks at him and says, like, the back of my head hit the locker.
Okay. And then Flynn, they would just go to the back of your head, just kind of like check it over, make sure everything's fine.
You poke around a little bit and there's definitely some tenderness back there, but doesn't look like it broke skin or anything, thankfully.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, or sorry, while they're doing that, Parker's gonna say, "Are you all right?"
I have no reason not to be.
I mean, you can feel your emotions. That's okay. And if you don't want to right now, that's totally fine as well.
It was a bad morning.
I agree.
Well, let's hope the rest of the day is all right. You want to do some homework with us? We're about to do some math.
Sure.
Nice. And then we'll launch into some math work. And I keep asking Dom for advice on problems that I clearly know the answer to.
Hey,
What?
hey.
Are you also in the library?
No, I think Janet is just outside the library, standing right next to the sign that says this girl is banned from the library.
Are you like hands and face pressed against the glass?
Yep,
Like,
absolutely.
I imagine the cheek too. Like you're just like.
I nod at the door, and then I go to distract the librarian.
Oh my god. Okay.
As is customary, I distract the librarian so that Janet can sneak in.
Okay.
Ooh, a roll.
Let's see here.
Charm the librarian.
Yeah, charm.
Parker.
Charm?
Darn.
All right, I add 1 to that, but I have a, was that heart?
Yes.
I have a 4 to that normally. Okay, so I'm rolling a 5. Roll 5.
And you got
Hey,
a lot
1
of cards.
6. 1 6.
Okay. So you managed to get the librarian's attention and, like probably discussing a recent book you'd checked out.
Yeah, the one that I had just returned, probably on their recommendation. I was just like, yeah, it was great. Very slow beginning, but I rushed through that real quick, and by the end, it was explosive. And then I start spoiling the book
Oh my god.
out loud, just
and-
going through every single plot point.
Okay. All right. Janet, I would like you to roll sneak.
I was about to say, and here comes my stealth roll.
Yes.
Is what I'm doing helping? Like, would there be a +1 for that?
Yes. Because you are distracting the librarian. Good.
Yes.
+1 dice.
So 1 extra die.
Okay, cool. Which helps out because I have no points of sneak, but I do have 4 body, so.
Nice. You got this.
Yahtzee! Maybe not. That's no 6s.
No 6s.
No
Um,
6s.
Would you like to... You could check your pride, you could use some luck, you could push the roll.
This doesn't feel that important, so I feel like...
I mean, I will say your luck replenish between sessions.
Yeah. But I feel like the results of this failing are a lot funnier.
All right.
So I feel like Janet is like creeping along, and then like she forgot to tie one of her shoes, so she just like just face plants into the carpet.
There's this big thud, and then the librarian whips around and like stands up and looks over the side of the desk and sees Janet. She's like, I thought I told you. And
Janet, run!
then
Just like on all fours, starts scrambling away.
and then he stops and like turns around and glares at you. Like, get your
I'm also
stuff.
gonna run.
I don't want to see you for a week.
Ah, damn it. All right, I grab my stuff and I start running. I mean, dang it.
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s and I'm a teenager, dang
Yeah.
it.
I think Flynn would sigh and be like, looks over to Dominic. I'm gonna go and check back with them to make sure that at least Janet is okay. Have a better day.
Thank you, Flynn.
Flynn will leave the library checking out a random book. No idea what it is, just grabs a random book, checks it out, and leaves. Finds, in theory, Parker hands that book to them, be like, here you go, to hold you off for a week.
Am I pulling up a random book title generator? You bet
Can
I am.
Can I please,
Yeah,
can I
I
please
will-
pick the book? I have such a good one just for Parker to randomly have.
Please, go for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Flynn grabbed Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume.
out at this point?
Yes, it came out in 1970.
Oh, jeez. Okay then.
I did just say damn it in a library. I do need the Lord.
Yeah, you get to read a book about an 11-year-old girl going through puberty and adolescence.
Oh, thanks, Flynn.
Not a problem.
I'll put it next to my Sinners and Gunslingers book.
Make sure to return it when you're not in trouble anymore.
I will. Thank you, Flynn. Thank you.
My bad. That was my bad.
Dominic then follows them out of the library and hands Parker a Western that is similar to Sinners and Gunslingers.
It's called Rebels Without Hate.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Hell yeah. Rebels Without Hate.
Hey, there he is, man of the hour. I feel like Janet comes up and like claps Dominic on the shoulders. So, you get any good scars out of it?
Only the emotional ones.
Aw, those are no fun.
Those aren't the fun scars.
Come on, did you get one good punch in at least?
No. I swung my book, he stopped it, and then shoved me into the locker.
Wow. That's way less impressive than what I heard. Well, you didn't die. We'll take that.
What are they saying happened?
Something about kung fu fighting. Somebody fired a laser. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
I heard someone died, but I don't think that one's true.
Yeah. I figured that one wasn't true. Because I feel like Ms. Bennis would definitely have had a heart attack if that had happened.
We wouldn't be at school yet, right? Or still.
Yeah.
Someone
yeah.
died.
Has Liz just been escalating the rumor throughout the day? Maybe a little
I
bit.
kind of love the imagery of them like gathered in the hallway and walking along and talking about this, and then you had like a bathroom pass and just walk out of the bathroom and overhear this conversation, just like, you're welcome.
Problem.
I do like the idea that Elizabeth is the mastermind behind all the lies, like the telephone game.
Yeah.
But it was all just the one person spreading different versions of the rumor.
She knows exactly which groups to go to spread exactly which versions of the rumor.
Yeah.
And you know they're throwing so much shade at the two bullies every time she spreads it. It just gets worse and worse for them.
Yeah, it somehow turned from me getting thrown into a locker to like me pulling a knife on them and gutting one of them. And they ran off or something.
Yeah.
That's definitely like the darker student groups at the school are definitely spreading that rumor.
Dominic put Ricky in a headlock. Yeah, he strangled the guy to death.
You know he was trained by the master of Karate Kid, right?
What is KGB? He's a KGB agent.
Liz has avoided saying KGB, but she came very close before she was like, nah,
Close enough.
this is probably the worst decision I could make here.
That is the one version Elizabeth did not make.
Yes.
Like that.
And is she purposely trying to track down the one person who made that version? Yes. Because she's very mad that someone is trying to spin her story.
I control the rumors in this school.
It was 100% Janet. Because she thinks that's cool.
God.
Dominic then points out to Janet that next time Spetsnaz is actually cooler than KGB. And so to bring that up next time.
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah.
Have a moment together. If does anyone else have other scenes they would like throughout the school day, or are you just gonna go back to your respective classes and get through the rest of the day before it's time to go home?
I feel like Liz has a moment, like as she passes them, where she registered, this is where the library is that the owl keep on talking about, because she's never been in there.
Just a casual.
Even though her
Oh.
family name is on it, like your family
Yeah.
donated the library, but you don't know where it is.
Perfect.
Parker's
This-
made many attempts over the
Yeah.
years, but
This is what they mean when they say, meet me here.
I think
They're just
before.
like, oh, Liz, meet us at the library. We have a library?
Mm,
yes, we've told you 20 times.
Girl, it's got 2 stories. Hard to miss.
I think before everyone leaves, Flynn will ask the group that's there of like, are we hanging out after school or?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Dominic points out that he never really has a choice.
That's fair.
I'm not going home.
Well, you can come
That's-
to my house if you want, if anyone wants to
Yeah.
come by.
I mean, that's the plan, isn't it?
Parker,
Well,
we
I
always
mean, it's
go to
always
your
the plan,
house.
but I have to invite you, you know?
Like, you got
I
the
gotta
best
invite-
house. Why would we go to any other house?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm sure you all have lovely houses, is what I meant to say. Sorry.
Sound system's cool.
The only, I mean, I don't like my house much, but the junkyard's neat.
I mean, theoretically, mine's lovely. It's just the people. Then you have to avoid all kinds of other people. So,
So it sounds like we're doing my house.
yes.
Yeah, I think I'm all good at school with completing classes and everything. Then head
Dominic
on out.
skips class all day
Hmm.
because he's mad.
It's fair.
Liz is doing her best to shape the rumor to what she wants it to be.
Okay.
And quashing any that paint the bullies in a remotely
good light.
positive light.
Right.
No, they're shitheads. Don't listen to them. Okay. Well, I think before we kick off the next portion of our story here, we can take a quick break, refill drinks, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So we'll be back here in just 10 minutes.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people I wanna know. If you're feeling it too, out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, and your street.
been thinking about what you said.
About? Was it about the Fey portal or the squishing that had like the grape?
Not wanting to ambush Henry
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I have good ideas.
sometimes.
Be nice. You know I can beat you up.
I was thinking of trying to write her a letter
Okay.
and just leaving it in her dorm. Would that be too much of an ambush?
Okay, so that really depends, okay? Because, like, if you leave it on her, like, pillow with, like, a sketched out drawing of her while she's sleeping, that would be creepy. Don't do that.
No, it would just be a letter. Well, a
But were
letter
you
and a
in
ring.
her room without her permission, touching her stuff, sniffing her sheets and stuff? Like, whatever werewolves do when they miss somebody?
Don't think I'd do that.
Do you think you could stop yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. You have more faith in you than I do.
I don't want things to be perfect, Rox. I just want things to stay.
Abandonment issues. Sometimes when you hold on too tight, that's when they leave you.
I think I'm getting a hint of that.
People are like sand, okay? Like, you can't really hold them tight in your hands. It'll just slip through. But what you can do is build castles with them. So when you build them up, you can make things that are beautiful.
You can put them in a bucket.
Well, you could. You could put them in a bucket. That's true. I don't
Okay.
want to live in a bucket. Would you want to live in a bucket? Personally, if
No.
you put me in a bucket, I would find a way to pour that bucket, and then I would go like in your pants so I could be all itchy and annoying to you forever.
What?
That's how siblings love each other. Being itchy and annoying forever.
I think me and Mrs. Johnson have been trying to put Henry in a bucket.
I don't know that it's just a bucket, but yeah, that's a good metaphor for it. Henry doesn't belong in a bucket. She belongs on the beach with seashells in her hair and stuff. Especially if she's metal. Let that girl shine. She could literally shine. That'd be like me trying to dim Elena's glow. Hell no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hype that girl up. Show her
If-
off. I tell everybody I know that she's my girlfriend. Or
If-
trying to make Sylvie less glittery.
I don't know. The union could work. Maybe not
Or a
In a-
league.
traditional sense. You have people's secret identities.
Seeking
Justice.
God.
Or maybe a bunch of heroes that avenged the world.
What we really need is a group of defenders.
Or
Not every
like
person gets that joke.
X people. Just
extra special people.
extra special people.
Extraordinary,
Or a
even.
school run by
A bald man, a rich bald man.
no, I feel like Echo is
You gotta to shave her head.
Hecate. Hecate.
Had to use
Professor
Professor X if Professor X were more of an asshole and hot. Just saying.
Yes. And a woman
And yeah, and a
in
woman.
leather.
This
Sorry.
is true.
Anyway,
Having a moment.
me love, make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love, show me light, show me love. Make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love.
That's the one that Flynn
And
grabbed.
we're back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome
Hi.
to in the middle pick conversations that just you drop in with zero context for.
No context allowed.
Yeah. No context ever.
Mm-mm.
But if you missed my earlier announcement before we get back into things, once again, we are raising money for the Trevor Project. If you want to have a direct impact on what happens in the game, we have donation incentives. So go, like, you can use the little QR code in that corner. We have a little panel on our in like our about section and stuff. We have a command if I remember to use it. There you can use that link and go check out the rewards. Make stuff happen.
Cause chaos.
Cause chaos.
We
Help-
support you.
Help me do my job. Dear God, help me.
Which is torturing
I
these
have-
children.
I have
Wait.
Charlie
eight
needs
episodes. I have 8 episodes. But the rest of the day goes relatively smoothly. It's school. Dominic skips class. This is fine. Eventually the bell rings at the end of the day and everyone starts flooding out of their classroom. Who would typically be the first one to head towards the bus?
It's Janet.
Okay.
She probably sprints out of school.
I
Then
think
remembers
Parker-
Davy, runs right back around.
First one on the bus, or first one going towards the bus is probably Janet. First one actually there is probably Flynn.
Dominic, it varies on if he actually went to class or not. So, like today, he might be there earlier because he's just like, great, I don't have to be dismissed, and just got on the bus as soon as it pulled up.
Liz is totally the last one on the bus every day, without a doubt.
Okay.
Perfect. I was gonna say that Parker would probably be pretty late as well, just because he's a little bit of a teacher pet. So likely has like one last conversation with the teacher on the way out of that last class, and then is like, "Oh God, I'm gonna miss the bus," and then sprints out.
Yeah.
Sprints
I feel
past
like-
Elizabeth.
Yeah, Liz and Parker are totally competing every time for the last person on the bus. Liz is just social butterflying, securing her position in her web like to the last minute she can, basically.
Okay.
She wants to make sure that in the like several hours she's not at school, her position doesn't slip, basically.
Oh. So we'll say Dominic goes and gets on the bus, and you have your pick of seats because you didn't go to class, so you're just like, yes, this is my time. And you can settle down on the bus. Janet runs out, leaps down the steps, and then is like, shit. Turns around and sprint backs into school. Then I think as Janet is heading back out towards the bus, maybe Flynn is a little bit ahead of her, closer to the doors. I think Janet would notice this first, and then Flynn might start to pick up on it. But you start to hear the sounds of 2 girls arguing. They're next to some lockers, and one of them, Linda, I can't believe you snitched on me. I told you. I thought we were friends, you know? I thought, like, you could keep my secrets and that was fine, but then you had to go and snitch about the last test that I really couldn't afford to bomb. So yeah, maybe I cheated a little bit, but come on, are you serious? And just like, what are you talking about? I didn't tell anybody about this. I swear. Come on, Alice, you have to believe me. We've been friends since like kindergarten. What, like, why would I suddenly tell on you to the teacher now? Alice says, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? You're the only one who knew. Like, I didn't tell anybody else. How did they find out? The scoffs a little bit. I don't know, maybe you're a bad cheater. Like, oh. Wow. I guess all these years didn't mean anything. And I think at this point, probably Parker and Elizabeth are making their way down the hallway, so you're starting to hear bits of this argument. And Elizabeth, you definitely know who these girls are.
Yeah, Liz definitely perks
100%.
up as soon as she hears this messy argument because it's ammo.
I feel like Janet's listening around the corner and she sees Liz coming and she's like, come here, come here, come here.
I actually think Flynn would feel very awkward listening in and probably would just be kind of slowly backing away, going to leave, just like, you know.
Yeah, you're further towards the door, like ahead of them in the hallway, so you can just be like, head down, keep walking, get out the front doors. So we can say Flynn exits the scene.
Yeah.
But I was just
Yeah.
like, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Alice
I had nothing.
says, fine, I guess we're not friends anymore. Considering you got me in detention. And fine, we aren't. See you never. She turns on her heels and starts like storming towards the front doors to the school to get on the bus, while Alice just like huffs and stomps her foot, and then she turns and walks like back down the hallway towards wherever detention is being held today. And if the three of you were like huddled around a corner, you just like walk straight past down the hallway.
So Charlie, remind me, was any specific thing mentioned in there other than someone told on someone else? We didn't hear what it was that she told on someone about?
Cheating.
Alice cheated on a test.
Got it. Thank you. My apologies. Carry on.
Cheated on the last math test.
Got it. Math.
It's all connected. Math, Rick synergy.
What does it all mean?
Everyone has to take this class, this math class.
Maybe it stands for something. MATH.
The conspiracy.
More?
Yeah, I don't think Parker really has many opinions. It's more of like that's sad, a friendship ruined. Oh well.
Liz is taking note of the changes and because this will probably like they're somewhere in the social hierarchy, and she's like, this might have effects and that's something to monitor.
I love that.
Janet, knowing that Liz is into this stuff, is like elbowing her, like, "Oh, good, right?"
Liz definitely affirms and is like mentally like, she's like, I have to, like, actually she probably pulls out her like little secret notebook and is already scribbling in it.
Ooh,
and like her little her shorthand basically confirming what she's seen and theories as to what changes will happen because of this little tiff.
Will the social hierarchy be disrupted by this?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the Charlie Day meme of like the wall behind her covered in notes.
Yeah.
Liz
Look,
is
if this
completely
changes, then this.
paranoid too because it's like her notebook is coded. And so no one can get at the secrets in it.
Janet has absolutely asked for you to decode it for her.
I'm guessing some of you have partially decoded it, but it's like various portions have been decoded by different people.
It's like Da Vinci's Notebook.
I think after Janet has like pulled everyone to the side to listen to this argument, Davey's there just like, can we go now?
Yeah. I'll come over and hike him up into a piggyback. All
I
right.
think Liz probably
Onward.
ruffles his hair and is like, thanks for waiting after she's done taking notes.
All right. Roll out. Janet just starts running with Davy on her back.
Faster,
Parker
faster.
doesn't run.
Yeah, no.
Woohoo!
Parker and Liz are not. Do not
Yeah.
run.
Not runners.
No.
Okay. But all of you can get on the bus, settle into your various spots.
Do we all sit separately? I'm asking the group. Do we all sit separately and then slowly come together throughout the ride, or do we all sit
You
together?
assume you can avoid Janet.
Yeah, true. Like, is
I'm
this a group that
guessing-
sits at the back of the bus, or like one of those groups, or what do you think?
I'm guessing we kind of all merge together, or at least Liz will merge towards you guys. Because
As the
I
bus
feel
ride
like
goes on.
she probably gets pulled into a seat for whatever gossip she missed by one of her social clique or
Or
one,
lackeys.
Patriots.
one of the cliques that is reporting to her at a given time.
Social goons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom's definitely at the back,
You
Got
were
it.
on the bus first, so you had pick of the seats.
Yeah. and I would take the back.
Arguably
I
the
think-
best spot. You get the most air when you go over a bump.
I think
Favorite
at
spot.
first, on the ride, Parker sits at the very front of the bus because he has to catch up with the bus driver on what's been going on in his life. So Parker is up there at first, but then will eventually join the rest of the group.
Oh, bless your little heart.
I love Parker so much.
I
He's
do
so
too.
soft.
I'm
So
just
how are the kids?
imagining it's this old guy named Bobby. Bobby, the bus driver. He's just like, "Hi, Parker." Yeah, life's
Hey,
been
Bobby.
good. You know, you get up there in years and everything starts like blurring together, but it's fall again. Leaves are changing. Time is moving. Before you
Good,
know
good,
it, you'll
good.
be an adult. Youth,
Oh,
a
I-
long distant memory.
I
Joey will
literally
like it.
cannot wait for that day.
No, don't rush it. Don't rush it. Enjoy your time. Spend it with friends.
Yeah, you're probably right. He doesn't move to his friends. He keeps talking to the bus driver. Doesn't take the
I got,
time
I
to spend
got
it with your
wisdom
friends.
in these gray hairs. They're full of wisdom.
I know, that's why I always want to talk to you. What great wisdom do you have for me today?
What wisdom do you have to share, oh great and powerful
Okay.
bus driver?
I'll give you a Bobby bus driver proverb. Always make sure your laces are tied. Because if you're not careful, you may take a tumble.
Parker takes out his journal that he's constantly writing in, and he writes down, "Keep shoelaces tied." Got it.
You even have an object lesson from earlier that day.
And then he is just like, he
Oh my
kind of
God,
gets
yeah.
this distant look in his eyes. He's like, sometimes that tumble might be down the stairs. And then the wheel starts drifting and there's an angry honk and he's like, whoa! And of course corrects.
And
Parker's
reflexively in the
distracting the
back,
driver.
Janet is just like, woo!
Oh man. Yeah. So we spent some time up there, but eventually I'll join the rest of the group as the bus thins out as more people are dropped off.
Yeah. Okay. And all come together. eventually.
Oh, yeah.
It is your time. What do you want to do?
I feel like Liz definitely updates everyone on the changing, like
The
any
power dynamics.
power dynamics, any interesting rumors, that kind of thing.
I
Things that
hope-
might be of concern.
Flynn's eyes would glaze over with that being
Yeah.
said, just like. Okay.
I feel like
Anything she's heard about changes in their various social groups.
Janet would whisper to Flynn as we're walking along. So, did you give any more thought to fixing up that amp for me? Come on, you know you want to do it.
Bring it to Parker's. I'll look at it.
Yes! I'll pay you this time, I promise.
She will not pay him.
They'll get a bag of like convenience store candy or something, or chips.
A brand new mixtape. Like along with the other 7.
Liz might overhear this and just like take the pen out from behind her ear and make another note in her notebook that maybe steal some parents' cash and slip it to Flynn at some point for the amp.
Mommy, Daddy, can I have an advance on my allowance?
Back to that works. Love it.
Okay.
I think Parker is going to sit back with Dominic pretty soon after talking with the bus driver, and just be like, "Hey, I read another chapter of Sinners and Gunslingers. Want to hear about it? There's a cool shootout in this time. This time."
Dominic pretends like he doesn't want to hear about it, but he does very much want to hear about it because Dominic can't read English yet.
Parker doesn't wait for a response and
No,
launches
Parker doesn't
into-
need to, but like Dominic knows that
Yeah,
he can
100%.
pretend like he doesn't want to hear it, but Parker will tell him regardless.
Mhm.
So he's like, great, I don't have to act like I want to hear it, but I will get to hear this story.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that Parker is also doing this to just kind of be like to kind of distract Dominic a bit because I kind of understand that Dominic is when he's alone with his thoughts, things can get a little dark. So Parker, like most bus rides, goes back and just lets him know what was in the current book he's reading. Dominic's quote unquote read a lot of books this way of Parker just explaining what happened, gives the synopsis.
Yeah, so Dominic just kind of like leans back in his seat and just lets Parker just regale him with tales of the Old West.
And then you won't believe this. They had a duel at high noon. There's a tumbleweed and everything. So yeah, we chat.
Probably maybe halfway towards your group stop B. So the bus is like halfway empty at this point. We get to Linda's stop, and she has been like kind of just angrily staring at the window. I'm in the bus rumbles up, and she sighs and gets up and throws her bag over her shoulder and stomps to the front of the bus and down the stairs and heads off to her house.
Does Parker know Linda at all?
Considering how small North Pass is, everyone is kind of familiar with everyone. So you know who she is, but...
Oh, Liz probably just told you everything she knows about Linda.
You probably have her full
So I
backstory
at least
now.
know that much.
Yeah.
Well, Dominic wasn't inside when the conversation between Linda and Alice happened. So unless someone told him, he doesn't know what happened there.
Oh, that was during Liz's whole rant on.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
sure.
on the updates.
Okay.
That was part of the updates. Cool. All right. I'm gonna file that a bit, I think. Just like I should check in on Linda sometime.
So okay, after Linda storms off the bus, Dominic asks out loud, but like to no one in particular, just kind of throwing it out. It's like, does anyone really think that she snatched?
Oh,
Mm,
oh, right,
I guess-
right. I remember now.
Because Alice thinks Linda snitched on her, but
Mhm.
Linda insists she didn't, and they're best friends. So Dominic's just kind of like, does anyone really think she did?
What do I know of these two, Charlie?
They have been joined at the hip, pretty much.
They're thick as
kindergarten.
thieves.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do everything together, like sleepovers, after school activities. Have tried everything together. They eat lunch together every day.
History will say they were roommates.
Yep.
If they're in the same classes, they always sit together. If
They're always partners.
yeah,
Yeah.
do all the projects together. Like,
Mhm.
you know, maybe they had a stint of like trying out for the school play. They did that, and maybe like one summer they're like, hey, maybe we should try volleyball, and did that. Like, they are the, you know, the best friends that if anyone were to be like, okay, who are the best friends like that the school
These
knows,
two.
it's them.
Yeah, Linda
Um,
didn't do it.
No, based off of history, Linda would never have betrayed Alice, and not even in the slightest way.
Then why does
You're
Alice think
attached.
she did?
It's intriguing that that kind of secret is out. And I would assume Liz had not heard anything of this secret before.
Yeah,
Good,
so like
just dreamed it.
Yeah. I have no trace on how it got out either.
So yeah, Dominic
So-
kind of just points out that like he thinks it's weird that like Alice would think Linda would do that, because like he watches people, right? Like he's an avid people watcher, and so like it's kind of like it's weird that she would think that if they're so close, and even weirder that they would stop being friends so quickly over that, like one thing.
It is strange, but I think partially it's Alice firmly believed that there was only one other person that knew of her secret. And as such, by process of elimination, only one person could have given it. However, based off of previous interactions with both of them, Linda would not have given away that secret.
I'm sure
feel
they'll.
like-
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure they'll get back together again. I mean, friendship like that, like it's not gonna go away overnight, right? Right? I look at everyone furiously.
Parker intently
Yeah, of
looks at
course.
Elizabeth. Right?
Right, Elizabeth?
Right, Elizabeth?
I feel like Janet is upside down, like in one of the seats of the bus, just like twirling a drumstick idly. And she just sort of throws out, yeah, technically two people knew the secret.
Excuse me.
She knew the secret herself, right? I don't know, maybe
Oh.
she sleptwalked or something. That's a thing, isn't it? Look
They
at Flynn.
sleptwalked into the school and told the teacher that she cheated.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sleep
could
person.
have fall asleep. You could have fell asleep inside class.
I think it was probably a doppelganger. Been reading about them in my book.
I do think that the
A
idea
what?
is a little outlandish.
Doppelganger, a monster that takes over or looks exactly like you but isn't you because it's a monster. Probably one of those.
Or
Oh, that sounds
perhaps
cool.
Could be a skinwalker.
Alice
skinwalker.
wasn't as sneaky as she thought she was in her cheating.
There's also that.
There's also that no one snitched, and it was just Alice is bad at cheating.
Or maybe it's some newfangled doodad. Flynn, is there something that like maybe could tell a teacher if someone cheated?
I mean, nothing that I've seen lately, I don't think.
You could put like magnets in the paper or something, right?
It would be more complicated than magnets.
It's more
But I
complicated
mean-
than magnets.
Janet, how do you think magnets work?
I don't know. That's why they're complicated.
Oh, electromagnetism.
What's that yellow and green guy from Davey Spider-Man comics got to do with this?
Anyway,
You definitely fully lost Liz at Spider-Man. Like she was trying to track through the magnets conversation, but Spider-Man came up and she's gone.
Checked out.
Yep.
It also would depend, like any device that would be used to tell if someone's cheating would depend on the type of cheating that that individual is doing. Like if they have the answers written on their arm, you would need some way to see that. If it's actually looking off of other people, then you need a way of tracking your eyes. It wouldn't be as simple put magnets or something on a piece of paper.
I feel like Janet does like a sit up and like rummages around with her bag a little bit and pulls out the hummingbird, who looks. If these things like act like real animals, I feel like this thing's upset that it was just woken up.
I feel like it would be upset that it was in a bag, but
Yeah.
Dave's just like, that's no way to trigger your pet.
Yeah, sorry. It was trying to tap on it again. Teacher told me to cut it out. Could you put a camera on this? Hey, do they make cameras that little?
I don't. Let me ask the GM. Do we have cameras that small? Should I make a roll?
Yes.
Like
you
a
I think comprehend is the one that I am. Yes. Roll,
yeah, it's either a comprehend or a calculate. I would argue, but because I think calculate also works for that. But yeah, no, that's fine. I'm good. I'm good on both. My mind is 4. My comprehend is 3. So that means I get 7.
It's like
I got 2 successes.
Okay.
2 6s.
You do get a bonus of effect, which means you get additional information, and +1 bonus die to run one. You're to the point in the stream I cannot talk. +1 bonus die to one roll when you use the information. So,
yeah. Okay. That's 1 additional. No, yeah.
you get additional information.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as far as you know, cameras that small do not exist.
Okay.
But cameras that small do not exist, but something small enough that could be hidden is a recorder.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I just thought it was just thinking that as soon as you said cameras aren't that small, I was like, okay, then what about focal? Because obviously someone had known the secret. So yeah, like a recorder. not a camera, but maybe a voice recorder.
Like a mic?
Yeah, small enough to hold a little bit of data or transfer it, I guess, but very unlikely.
I just look at the mouse on my shoulder suspiciously. What secrets do you hold?
I feel like Janet looks at the hummingbird and is like, and now I have some ideas.
I will not, if they're, no.
Just no.
It's a hands-free mic.
Okay, that's better.
Flynn just squints at you. Just, okay.
What you think I meant?
No, I know. That's exactly, but
That's what you should use the spy tech for. Yes, definitely. Yes. And don't think of any other uses.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Janet.
when we, I don't want to open up.
Liz might start listening again at the mention of spy tech, but
Oh yes, how can I use this for my own devices?
yeah.
She left when we talked about Spider-Man and is back with spy tech.
Yes.
One of them is ultimately the better one.
Spy tech.
Okay.
Well, as far as Linda and Alice go, I'm sure they'll be okay. They're thick as thieves. But it's ultimately their friendship. Hopefully good things come out of it in the end. I don't know. I'm just trying to spin this well, Hopefully no one's being spied on. I look at my mouse again. No, Stuart would never do that to me.
Of course.
Of
course it's Stuart.
Yeah, of course. No, I don't know if Stuart Little was invented then, and if not, then I invented Stuart Little.
I think.
Dang it! I was gonna be like, I invented Stuart Little.
Janet rolls her head over to the back end of the bus and looks at Dominic. You don't know anything about spy tech, do you?
Oh yes, in Russia I use spy tech all the time to capture American secrets.
Rad. Can you help me hook up Rockstar here?
I was being sarcastic, Janet.
Ah.
Say at this point the bus rumbles to a stop at your street. You can all file off. Head down the street towards Parker's house while the bus pulls away.
Dominic says that he's going home.
Oh, no, you don't.
Says.
He does this every day. They get off the bus and he says, I'm going home.
I feel like Janet is just ready with the arm loop to just touch him
they
and
don't
be
let
like, come on.
But he just says it every day.
And Liz is on the other side dragging him along too.
It's that need to know that people want him there, so he says he's going home because he wants them to say no.
I like that. Yeah.
Tsundere Russian boy.
Pardon?
Tsundere Russian boy.
Yes.
So I believe we said that our hideout was in the garage, is what we ultimately decided. We always enter through the main garage door, like pull it up, and then I'm assuming the noise is usually if mom's back from work or awake yet, or that might wake her up or something like that. For my mom, but
that's like her alarm clock.
Exactly, is when the garage door opens.
Kids are back. Gotta make snacks.
I try to be as quiet as possible because I never want to wake her up, even though it never works. But So we've done.
The thought that counts.
You bring Janet home, of
I
course.
I
was
feel like
about to
Janet just
say.
screams, "Hi, Jennifer!"
Second Janet is like anywhere near the audio system, she's just like, all right.
What do we got today?
What are we playing at max volume today?
Long ago, Flynn has adjusted it to where there is a secret to actually putting it at max volume so that Janet cannot put it actually at max
Flynn put a
volume.
limiter on.
She just
Like-
thinks the audio system's busted. In reality, it was like rigged up by Flynn.
Flynn
Right.
definitely got a cash advance for that from Liz for saving all of their eardrums.
That's actually how Flynn actually got their computer.
Liz is just Flynn's sugar daddy.
Yes.
I love it. Do you mind if I describe what the hideout might look like, or does anyone else want to do that?
I was gonna ask what kind of seating options we have.
I was about to say, why don't you start and then we can embellish for like
Yeah,
our
perfect.
I want
individual
beanbag
areas.
chairs.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
It's Parker's
do my
house.
thing.
It feels like Parker should start this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You start and then we add stuff.
perfect.
Just like what would really happen.
So it's a one-car garage because we have a pretty we've got a decently sized house, but nothing crazy. So it's one-car garage that we've like stuffed with stuff, stuffed with things. So we've got a couch in there that we like found on the side of the road one day, and we put it in there. We've got probably 2 up to 3 bean bags. We've got the sound system, of course, that keeps getting upgraded with little things that Flynn finds. I believe we said at one point that Flynn also hooked something else up, if you can, the arcade system.
Yeah.
What game we got going on, Flynn? I think so.
Didn't we determine there were multiple games on it?
Oh yeah, we just
Because
kept
we
adding
each
them.
had, yeah.
Yeah.
We each have one that we decided like that is our game, except for Flynn. Well, technically Flynn has one, and just Flynn's the worst at it.
Yeah. No, Liz didn't add one. Liz just monopolized Flynn's.
Ooh, what's that one, Flynn? I'm gonna
If
try it.
only because of pretty colors.
Dom
Here.
has Galaga on there, and that's what he's really good at.
Perfect. So we've got that going on. We've got the music going. We chat. Parker usually will try to get his homework done first, but usually abandons that at a certain point and joins the group. What else do we think? Anything else crammed in here?
Can Dom hang up a Soviet flag just like for the joke?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, there's obviously the no adults sign, save for
Yeah.
Jennifer.
No
Right.
adults.
Oh, yeah.
Except Jennifer.
No adults except Jennifer.
Yeah, exactly. Jennifer, of course, being my mom.
I think, didn't we determine Janet also wrote underneath it Mrs. Parker's mom?
Right.
Yep.
I would say that Flynn probably has a bunch of like toolboxes and random parts just stuffed in a corner.
Oh yeah, yeah. Probably too small for a full workbench, but you basically just set out wherever you have space and start tinkering.
I think we've got like a little library in one of the corners, like a few old bookshelves just crammed with like old books that we like scraped together from like the library, getting rid of them and stuff and whatever.
Yard
And
sales.
that's 100% the spot
Yeah.
that Davey
Yep.
hangs out in when we're
Yeah.
all together here.
And it's just there's like fiction, nonfiction, magazines, just everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Liz has comfy clothes here, I think is one of the bigger things for her. So like immediately she probably goes inside and changes into like a sweatshirt and like comfy pants and stuff. And like it's a giant baggy sweatshirt and it's from her brother's university.
Nice.
Like
UW
the
Madison.
the only time you will ever see her in like university clothing is here, and it's always her brother's. because he is her, like she idolizes him still, and she's so close with him still. So
What's his name?
I don't have a name yet for it. Let's go with sure, Paul. Paul is fine.
First name that came to mind. I'm
That
trying to
works.
embrace the randomness here.
It works.
No.
And that being said, as one final detail, I think Janet has like half of a salvaged drum set in here. That's like from 6 different drum sets that like people threw out over the years. And she's just been like slowly trying to assemble a full kit. But that does not stop her from practicing.
I would say also Liz's only contribution to the library, I think there are several foreign language books that she is learning.
I like that.
To go through and trying different languages, and there may or may not have been a Russian one added recently. So
Janet just wants to know all the curse words.
Liz
Literally
had made a
hunts them
list
down.
for you of various languages and their curse words.
Dominic added the Russian ones though. That was his.
Yes.
And like he added like some obscure ones,
Right.
which are probably Janet's favorite.
Yes.
She cannot pronounce them correctly to save her life, but by God, does she love using them. Now I'm going to have to look up foreign language curse words between sessions.
Oh boy.
And then have to just mutilate as you try to say them.
Yep. I mean, I do that naturally. I'm terrible with foreign languages as a person.
So
But I feel like Janet slams a cassette into the player. Make sure the music is suitably thumping.
Dominic throws himself in a beanbag chair and listens.
And then sort of turns to everybody else. All right, I'll be right back. I need to make a quick run to the store. BRB. Just dips right back out after dropping her bag and Davy off.
It drops Davey off with us. And then
Yep.
comes out.
Davey just makes
Love
himself
it.
comfortable in a corner with some books. Probably pulls out the most recent issue of. Oh my God, we literally just talked
Zoo
about
Books.
Yes,
Zoo
Zoo Books. I was
Books.
like, I forgot the name of it. Pulls out the latest issue of Zoo Books, and which is a couple weeks old at this point, but it keeps rereading it and thumbs through it again.
I feel like the one zoo book that's missing from Davy's collection is the one on wolves, and it lives in this library. Specifically for Dominic.
Yeah, I feel like Parker's started collecting the like younger kids books. Like Parker's really into young adult right now, but like kept some of his. Oh, he would definitely. I'm sorry, he would definitely have a bunch of kids books that he's just been reading over the years. So he's already got those ready to go and has been making sure that those are ready to go for him to to read in the corner. But he's always really been into the zoo book.
Dominic really likes reading any of the comic books that are there because he doesn't really need to know too much English to read them. He can just look at the pictures and get a grasp as to what's going on. So he enjoys that.
I feel like if you pick up one of Davy's favorites, he'll like scooch a little closer and start reading out, or like start commenting about like, oh yeah, like Spider-Man's so cool in this one, and explains the villain and everything, and he'll start like reading out and acting out the panels.
I love these two.
Liz is blatantly ignoring her homework while reading the foreign language books. But every once in a while, like, and she's definitely like lounging on something or like one of the pieces of furniture, and every once in a while she'll just like look up over her book and just like look at Davy just being adorable and a small child explaining their hyperfixation, and there's just like a little smirk on her face, but
where does Janet go?
Janet is gonna head to the local general store or supermarket if we have one.
There is one downtown in the square. Probably fastest to run across the street and grab your bike downtown. I mean,
Okay.
North Pass is very walkable, but it's faster by bike.
Of course.
So.
Of course.
Grab your bike and head down there.
And as I'm grabbing my bike, I'll sort of check my wallet, see if I have enough money for at least a box of Fruit Loops.
Go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's a 4.
I'll say that you have enough money for a box of Fruit Loops and probably some extra change if you wanted, like, a candy bar or something.
Okay. Would I know Parker's favorite candy bar? If he has one?
Probably. I'm sure you've asked at some point.
Asked.
Asked. It's going to be something like slightly too fancy for a kid. I don't know what brand that would be in the 80s, but essentially, like,
Fancy.
yeah, it's the sort of thing that, like, he sees adults get and, like, savor and that sort of thing. I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head, but, like, specifically like a Ghirardelli, but barring that, just a standard Hershey bar.
I was actually imagining like a dark chocolate by that description.
Yes,
just because
yeah, like a dark
most kids
chocolate
would not like that.
Dark chocolate, fancy brand, but of course, loves any chocolate. But likes to be basic with it. So like a standard Hershey bar would be perfect.
Dark chocolate Hershey. Gotcha.
There you go. Yep.
So yeah, Janet will bike to the store, grab a box of Fruit Loops and a dark chocolate Hershey. And whole time she's just like tapping out the beat of the song that she got started playing back at HQ. Just knows all the words, every single beat. And she'll just start biking back, just enjoying the nice weather.
We're heading out of the general store. This area is like common for kind of kids of all ages to hang out, just because, like, if they have some pocket change, they can grab like a soda or a candy bar, or if they're older, they can hang out in their car with some snacks, or maybe if they're like right on the cusp of adulthood, definitely buying like alcohol or cigarettes or something and just smoking around the corner. And you hear, sounds like another argument. This one much more hushed. But it sounds like two guys who are talking around the corner. One of them is and how could you tell Stephanie that I was cheating on her? Come on, I was just having a little fun. Like, what the hell, dude? I thought we were cool. I didn't say anything, man. I told Stephanie nothing. What are you talking about? Maybe that other girl you were hooking up with was spreading some rumors and she got one of them. Don't start pointing fingers at me, man. Come on. Going. They eventually, it does not get super duper heated. Eventually, they both just stop and scoff and are like, whatever. Stand there for silence and sorry you're late. And then the conversation kind of picks up with a much lighter tone.
I feel like as Janet walks back to her bike, the hummingbird is just like hovering next to her and she just kind of like looks suspiciously at it. You tell me if you had a mic in you, right?
I don't know having bird noises. If you don't, it's entrapment.
You're a cop, you have to say so.
No, isn't
Just-
recording minors in general illegal? Just saying.
Depends on the state, I think.
It does depend
mean,
on state. 'cause
Isn't
there's- yeah.
recording secretly recording people in general illegal?
Yeah.
It does depend on state.
Yeah.
It actually gets really hairy. But that's another conversation.
It's not pertinent to this game.
Nah, you'd never betray me. I feel like Janet just tosses the bag with the
Disappear into the ether.
Fruit Loops into the basket of her bike. Starts pedaling away, just sort of thinking to herself, weird coincidence.
Well,
What does it
Jen,
mean, Charlie? What does it mean? I'm taking notes.
what does
I'm gonna
MAP
solve the
stand
mystery.
for?
I think so. Going back to, I think Flynn actually, the idea of these having recorders in them has been bugging them, and Flynn really wants to break open one, but like doesn't want to break open theirs, so they're just sitting in their corner, not able to focus, and is fidgeting really hard the entire time. Just constantly picking something up, putting it down, picking something up, putting it down.
There's a Rubik's Cube.
Mm-hmm. Solved it like 10 times. Just
While Janet is gone, eventually, Mrs. Svensson comes in with some snacks. Drops off some snacks for all of you.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome, kids. Have a good day at school.
Yeah, it was pretty good. A friendship, long-standing, just blew up, but besides that, I think we're all good.
I got beat up.
Actually, a few things happened today.
Yeah, apparently, Dominic. Okay, did you see the nurse?
No.
You need an ice. Oh my goodness! Let me get you an ice pack.
Flynn, do I need an ice pack?
not now. No, not anymore.
No,
It's
I'm
fine.
good. I don't need an ice pack.
I destroyed the two guys' reputation who beat him up.
You know, valid. I can't argue with
Destroyed
that
them.
one. But what do you mean friendship was just destroyed?
Oh, they one of them thinks that the other one snitched on a test. It's Linda and Alice. I don't know if you know their moms or anything. You know everyone's moms, right? You're a mom.
I am a mom, therefore I am plugged into the mom network.
The momiverse.
Liz further elaborates as to what they've been involved in the public and community, and to give more of a history and gives a description of the two girls.
Okay. I think I've seen Alice's mom times.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a rather exciting day. Hopefully that's about as exciting as it gets.
God, me too. I just want to read my book. I just want to read Are You There, Goddess, Me, Margaret.
Interesting choice. That's
Yeah, I'm trying it out.
Western, is it?
I don't know yet.
Okay. You know, if you need anything,
You know our
Drinks.
school had a library?
yes. Schools will typically have a library. Elizabeth. You know what you do? You know that the town also has a library, right?
Vaguely. Have I been there? No.
Maybe you should go sometime.
I'll bring her next time we go. Don't worry. I'll drag her along, kicking and screaming. She has to read a book. Just one book.
I think Liz looks pointedly at the book in her lap.
She reads. She just doesn't go to libraries. She just has books brought to her.
Requests them.
Parker's been supplying her books this whole time.
Yes.
I got a
Like she's
Elizabeth.
like, ooh,
I've
where do you
got a
get all
book
these books
guy.
from?
Who's your book guy? You don't need to know.
She declares what she
Referring to a
wants to
library.
read, and it just is.
Yeah, no, she literally just says, I want to read this at home, and the butler goes and finds it in the house library. There's
Oh yeah, the house has a library.
yeah.
There
I
are
need to
3
go out.
libraries in her life. She's been in none of them.
Even the one in her house, down the hall.
I mean, to be fair, out of all of them, the one in her house is the least likely one for her to be in. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's the amount of time she spends at home in general is very low.
Mhm.
But Mrs. Svensson will all of you to it. Go back into the house. Most likely to
Soon
start
as-
working on dinner.
As soon as she leaves, Flynn is just going to scream fuck and grabs, opens their bag, pulls out a little case that actually has the butterfly in it, and pulls out the butterfly and is going to find out if there is a recorder in this thing. They have been fighting the entire time, and they just
Lynn,
can't do
Jesus, what?
Okay.
Why are you shouting?
It's a puzzle. I love puzzles. This is my dream.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
Dominic wads up a piece of paper, whips it at, like, gently flicks it at Flynn, and when it bounces off of them, just says, "Down, boy."
I do think Liz repeats fuck in whatever language she's reading book-wise under her breath, just to like verify she knows what it is.
I believe this is a calculate because what action
Yeah.
on here?
I was just
Yeah.
double checking the I was just making sure some of the other aspects of like tinker wouldn't work, but yeah. Calculate it is.
Okay, and I get a +1 die because of the earlier thing.
Yes.
Question.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Good use. Good use.
That means I'm rolling 9 9 because it's 5 + 3 + 1.
Nice.
1 and 2. Just 2
Okay.
Hey, that's funny.
successes.
So you get to ask 30 questions from the list because of
Huzzah!
you get an additional question for the extra.
Okay. I can ask the direct thing of what is its purpose.
What is your function?
I think I think that's the first question. Is I open this up, am I able to tell its purpose? Like, what is its purpose?
It is going to be a small border spy device.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to ask. I'm essentially asking how does it work, but it's more probing on, is it recording and sending a signal out? Does it have to do something special to get the recording out?
Nothing special. It's kind of like an open line, he said. So someone could choose whether to
It's like a phone.
like tune into it or not. Like, you know, like kind of like a walkie-talkie frequency. So Not necessarily like someone might not be listening constantly, but one could pick up information whenever they want.
The last question I can ask. I feel like I already know what problems could it cause because obviously we've been seeing it. I can. I'm going to ask this, but I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting to get out of it. Who built it?
Rick's Synergy.
I knew it.
Is
So,
Flynn
I mean, I don't
sharing
know
this
it.
information with us as they're finding it out?
So you would actually see like Flynn start taking this apart and is very like methodical, like pulling each piece slowly off so that Flynn could recreate it. Like learn all this information. But I don't think they're going to say this directly out loud for a long time. Like they yelled, but the rest of the time is just completely silent and focused until probably start putting things back together. But
I also feel like that's fairly a fairly standard evening with Flynn around. As he'll like go to work on a project and be like, I'm working on a project, and then we're like, cool, they're gonna go silent for forever. Right. So we're just gonna do our own thing while they're working on this, and then we'll come back.
Once Dominic realizes that Flynn's taking apart their clockwork animal, though, then he kind of tosses his comic book off to the side and just goes and watches. Doesn't say anything, just watches.
Probably after Dominic moves over to start watching this, and Flynn is very intently working on taking apart their animal. This is when Janet turns to the hideout.
Kicks open the door on beat to the music and finishes the line that it's on.
Hey, Janet.
Hey. Tosses the bag of cereal and then throws the bar to Parker.
Oh, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, you're letting us crash here. Least I can do.
Okay. He starts pulling apart the chocolate and giving a piece to everybody, including himself, but make sure that everyone's fed with chocolate while we wait on bated breath.
So, what's up?
Someone's taking something apart.
Janet.
Ooh.
Damn it, Janet. There is recorders. We're being recorded inside of these animals.
No, this is sarcasm again. You're messing with
Flynn
me.
isn't sarcastic.
Flynn looks you direct, like dead in the eye. When have I been sarcastic with you?
Janet slowly learning what sarcasm is.
Copyright.
Oh, sorry. Of all the music, that's the first one.
Gone.
And then, like, the second the gears finally click, she wheels around to the hummingbird and just, like, grabs it out of the air. You little liar.
Don't break. If they know, you know, then bad. It's kind of like a radio. I got it. I can, in theory, I can. I want to grab an actual proper AM/FM radio here, and I'm going to create a counter signal so that while we're here, nothing can be sent out.
Like a jammer?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I'll make the hideout actually a hideout.
Yeah.
Like it.
So that we're more safe in the hideout.
Go ahead, and I think this is going to be a tinker. Yeah.
Okay with that.
Go ahead and roll for Tinker.
Okay, that is technically my lowest roll, ironically enough. Um,
Can I help with this in any way?
what does?
Well, it was your. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was a different question. Your last question was who built these, and
Right.
that is not related to jamming these.
No. Arguably, how could I use this would have been a better thing, but I kind of already had this idea and I didn't know if it was going to give me a success for if I asked that question or not. So I just kind of said, well, I actually want to get information than that. But I mean,
If you have, if you have a reasonable argument as to how you could help.
Yeah, mostly assisting in a way, like providing the tools that they need, and then interjecting where I can with any bits of knowledge that I might have for this sort of thing. Presumably, they're grabbing my radio
Yeah.
to pull it apart, so maybe that could be part of it. You let me know if that's a strong enough argument.
I mean, I have a thing building off of that.
Like Flynn has all
allows-
the more knowledge than me, but I can help in the way of being like an extra pair of hands or.
And I can do math.
Right, no.
Honestly, maybe Dominic should do it.
But no, with you trying to help, that kind of gives me a good reason and way to argue the use of my pride here to gain one automatic success, because I'm the smartest kid in class. Like that's my
So
pride.
I come
It's
in
like
and I'm like,
you're trying to help
me help.
and say suggestions. It's like no, stop.
Okay. We can. I like that. We can do that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you're just like, oh well, what about this here? Let me help. And Flynn's just like, no.
I just start like reading the user manual for the AM/FM radio, and I'm just like, what if you did this?
Exit
to it?
standby mode.
That's the power button if you want to use that.
You need to know how to turn it on. I can help with that.
Lid's like, please.
I don't want to turn it on while I'm inside of it. That's how you get electrocuted.
That's the fun part.
No!
Down, Janet.
So I did use my pride for one automatic success. I did roll and I got one additional success off of that. But that's it.
Okay. So. You can buy one bonus effect. Oh wait, no, that's for build. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Where is? Yeah, because this would be a manipulate unit. Yeah. Off the Tinker.
Yes.
Okay. So the bonus effects is give successes to another kid. I'm not trying to help anybody. I think thematically buying the you show off is a thing, but I don't know how that would work.
I mean, you could just do it like with a lot of extra flair. Maybe everyone's crowding around and you're just like, watch this, guys. I got this. It's just like no trouble at all.
Right.
Hooking this thing up.
Right. I think the you show off, and I will ask if like maybe we can slide in an extra effect that's just mostly for flair. And that extra effect is literally while we're in here and Janet has picked a music, that music is what's being broadcast on the our little companions.
Okay. What
Rather
music?
than just like dead air or something.
Janet, what's currently playing?
Blitzkrieg pop.
Pop.
That is what is just being broadcast out of all of these different.
Right.
Little
So if they
mechanical
change to the
things.
channel, that is the only thing they're hearing. Like we are right next to these speakers.
So that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this isn't going to be a brutal awakening to whoever's listening to Liz's at any given point while she's in the hideout, because it's nothing like what it would normally overhear.
Well, that's
So-
interesting.
By this
folks.
point, do we know why Flynn did this?
Yeah,
Really?
Flynn said that we were
Okay.
being recorded.
Janet was about ready to chuck her hummingbird at the wall.
Is
like,
it safe
don't do
to
that.
talk now? Directed towards Flynn.
Let me just flip thing and yeah, go ahead.
Why is Rick's energy listening to us?
Flynn instantly looks over to Elizabeth. Do you know?
I can do some digging and find out. I know
Yes,
someone who might be able to get us have some information about what's going on the factory floor.
And he just choke up his spine. Sense a disturbance in the force.
The chakra.
I feel like Janet has like put the hummingbird in like I feel like Janet has collected the pets and is like put them under a laundry basket and is like set stuff on top of it so they can't get out when like half of them could just fit through the holes.
Oh,
He's like eyeing them like, oh.
Liz
You're in
is
jail now.
completely buried in her bag, like wrapped in things, and has been for in case someone ever goes near her stuff at school.
Do we know what Liz's?
You guys probably
pictures?
do.
Dominic says yet to come out of his pocket today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, do remind me what Liz's was again?
Liz is a snarling hyena. Like,
Right.
it's not pretty at
Oh,
all.
right.
It's like,
Yes.
it's nasty looking.
Anyway, yeah. So Parker has taken Stuart off of his shoulder and been like, Judas, and then handed it over to Janet slowly and like upset.
And I feel like
Poor
Janet
Stuart.
is like poised over the laundry hamper prison with like a hammer, just like try it.
Don't.
Be careful.
So, if we start acting differently around them, someone's going to know something's up.
So we don't talk about it
Something.
unless we're in here.
Is up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm back here to talk about this stuff. Maybe we can keep notes or write notes to each other because it seems like they can only record audio. So when we're out of this room, if we have important information to pass, we can write it down.
Maybe we could do like those sign language things, you know?
Do
Yeah.
you know sign language?
No.
I'm still trying to learn English. I don't have time to learn that sign language.
Well, this is kind of hairy, folks. So
Everyone
Should we
learns how
tell
to do
someone?
Russian sign language.
Yes.
do we
Why
tell
don't
someone?
you have a book on sign language, right?
Like, should we tell Jennifer or a teacher or something?
Well, I feel like if the teacher, I mean, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but like if the teacher knew that the person, like the kid, cheated, then the teacher knows that something was up, right?
Maybe the
Yeah, I
teacher
mean-
just got a letter,
Yeah,
and that's why
but-
they thought it was Linda.
Hang on. Are we thinking that the whole thing with Linda and Alice is because of these guys?
Well,
Didn't
we've agreed that they
do-
wouldn't do that to each other, so
Because
I
I
thought-
heard something like that while I was at the store.
And you're only telling us
What
now?
happened at the store?
It was just kind of weird at the time.
Bill?
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was two guys arguing. One of them was being a scummy bastard and was cheating on his girl. And apparently she found out, and he thought the other guy had told her. It wasn't
Right.
as
These guys.
bad,
So this is morally gray then.
I guess.
So far, if these things are what's spilling secrets, the only secrets they're spilling are people doing bad things.
Yeah.
So
But why?
must be some sort of moral
Morality code.
authority.
But I mean, like, Janet, like, almost says something, then, like, looks squintily at the hummingbird in the cage. I've done nothing wrong.
I have a
That can be proven.
question out of character. What do we in the town know, like, what kind of company Rick Synergy is, or like what is its public facing like branding?
They are
Sounds like an energy.
they are a scientific based organization, very largely in research. A lot of what you know about them is that they are part of the Loop, which is like another one of the US installations of the original Swedish Loop, which is looking to essentially like teleportation, time travel,
Okay.
weird dimensional jumping types of stuff, but they have
Okay.
other like scientific endeavors as well.
Okay. I also want to make the point that Dominic does not know how to say it properly and fully believes that it is Rick's energy.
And
He
I
thinks
love
it is an
that.
energy company. Like he keeps mishearing it. And so that's what he calls it every time. It's
Rick's energy.
as a-
Rick's energy. It's the same.
Yeah.
Uh,
So they're kind of fringe science based.
Maybe.
It's a
overall,
mix.
The Loop.
It's
Yeah.
a mix.
And like, but we know that publicly?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like the ins and outs of like specifically what they're working on is not public knowledge, but there is general knowledge of like
Okay.
what the Loop is, what they were established for, and that they are a research organization.
Okay. Thank you.
How long has Rick Synergy been in town? Like an established branch.
Probably at least a decade.
A decade.
It's not
Okay.
new.
yeah, everyone at this point, I'm assuming everyone's like accepted it as an installation. Probably a lot of people get their jobs through Rick's energy as well if it's a small town.
It brought a lot of business as far as like the construction of the facilities, and then does employ quite a bit of the town. Like some people will go out of town for work, and
What
some
percentage
people,
of the town would you say is employed by them?
More or less than half.
I need the
Yeah, more or less than half.
statistics.
probably
Yeah, I don't need like a full demographic breakdown, but just like roughly.
probably about half the town.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
There's there are some people in the surrounding towns who come in to work at Rick's Energy, so it's not just like the employees aren't just the citizens of North Pass. Just like some people of North Pass will go to surrounding towns to do their work.
Yeah.
What's my family's opinion of them?
I think there's a little bit of snootiness there where they're just like, their claims are probably bullshit and whatever, and just an excuse to do, to not have a real job. But in terms of the money aspect, it does like bring money to the economy, so that's okay. But they don't put until they see
Evidence.
something like really concrete and groundbreaking. They kind of write off the company.
Okay.
I think Parker's gonna walk over and seemingly pull a whiteboard out of nowhere on like rolling wheels, and then he's gonna flip it over to an empty side, and then just start writing on it and just address the group. All right, so here's what we know so far. We've got seemingly 2 instances of this information being used from these recording devices, possibly.
That we
Of
got
course,
from
these
the
are
energy
associated-
company.
Yes. So we've got Linda and Alice about snitching on a test. And then we got those 2 dudes where one of them cheated on their girlfriend and he assumes the other person told. So the main information that we don't have that I would like to know is where the people got their information from, specifically the teacher who punished Linda. Was Linda the one that cheated?
Alice was
Alice cheated. Thank you. The teacher who did that, or I guess this
Where
random dude's girlfriend.
Stephanie got her information. Also, question: how old, in comparison to us, were the 2 guys that Janet observed? Like, how big of an age range are we seeing with these?
Like a couple to a few years. They could be anywhere from like 17 to 21.
Got it. They the age that wait, wasn't it only kids that got these little devices, or was it adults as well? Would they be young enough to have gotten some of those?
It was primarily high school age and younger, but you know,
but we
not like
necessarily
One of the guys could have had a sibling know.
not totally out of the question that someone who's over 18 could have gotten their hands on one of these.
What's the youngest we've seen these toys in?
Elementary school. Like maybe some parents with toddlers, but they probably wouldn't want to give something that fragile to a kid who's gonna like
stick it in their mouth.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot of incomplete information currently, so we shouldn't go crazy. But the next step I would want to do is to talk to this teacher and find out where they got the information about the cheating.
My gut instinct is to go track down the girlfriend and find.
I just don't know how to do that. I don't even know who those people are. Do we know who those people
the
are?
teacher would definitely tell Parker whatever he wants to know.
That's true.
Schmooze on, and
You just gotta
don't even
clap some
worry about it.
erasers or something, and they'll spill their guts.
Yeah, see.
And I'm sure that Lizzie could get information from the girlfriend.
Yeah, I was about to say, Lizzie's brain is track down
So
the
we got 2
girlfriend.
missions.
Yep.
I love it.
We have 2 strengths.
Mhm. Anything we want to do tonight on this information, or are we going to sleep on it?
Can we rule out the KGB?
Never.
Everyone looks at Dominic.
You can never rule out the KGB.
That's
you're saying-
concerning.
I'm kidding.
This is
Oh, sarcasm. Got it.
It's just this permanent thing where he keeps making these like jokes of like the Russian government. And everyone's like, "What?" He's like, "No."
Guys, I don't actually know how to build a bomb, okay?
Like,
Liz is slowly like rips out a page from her journal and is starting to make a sign that just says sarcasm on it to hold up.
Love it.
But then, okay. I can't remember. Is Sweden part of the KGB?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I pull out.
are you thinking of the
map.
KGB or like the USSR?
That's it. It's one of the letters.
Yeah, because KGB is like the Russian FBI, basically.
Yeah.
No, that was on purpose. That was Janet.
Janet does not
Okay,
know.
okay.
100%.
The USSR.
I'm loving it.
No, it was basically just Russia.
Okay. Okay, so if it's not commies, then who's listening in on a bunch of kids?
The energy company.
But like, why? To tattle on people?
Yeah, it's like a kid cheated on a test and someone cheated on their girlfriend. Like, we're not looking at laws being broken. This is like,
I mean, the
this
guy
is
probably deserved it, but
Maybe it's a
well,
test.
yeah, but it's like
I would never do that.
it's like someone enforcing moral laws rather than physical laws.
But what if it's a test?
A test.
What if it's Santa?
Well,
So
Janet, not Santa.
Janet.
He doesn't need the recording devices. He sees you when you're
Santa gives
sleeping.
toys, and the toys are listening.
Oh,
counter.
Santa's trying to prematurely punish people on the naughty list.
Exactly.
There we go. Okay, we figured
Worse
it
than
out.
Cole.
Out of character.
Counter?
Charlie, we figured it out.
Yeah,
You don't need to-
bizarre.
You got it.
No.
You solved my clockwork puzzle. It was Santa the whole time.
Got it in one.
The elves or the snitches.
I don't think we have enough information to say anything, because there is also a possibility where and looks directly at Dominic, the energy company just doesn't have any actual true use for it, and someone else already found out about the recorders and is using it to do their own sort of Batman justice.
But why would the energy company send out recorders if they're not going to use them?
Science.
Or they could just be a middleman who's manufacturing for a larger entity.
The communists.
It's a
I
demo.
grab the sarcasm sign and hold it up. Just like before Janet freaks out.
I was about to say
communism
Janet's like
again.
midpoint, and then you hold it up, and she's like, It's a demo though, right? Like when you have a song on early release.
You
like-
think that these toys are demo?
Yeah. I mean, and she like points the hammer at her hummingbird. Like Rockstar would make a pretty good spy, right?
Well, I mean, you're arguably not far off. Something in my gut does say something like maybe they're supposed to make us get used to them, so when we are adults and we do have important conversations, yeah,
They're gonna steal all my song ideas.
specifically your song ideas, yes.
That's what we're here. That's what they're there
been
for.
about. Yep.
What are you
Clearly.
talking about? Flynn doesn't use sarcasm? Are you kidding me?
You're right.
Liz totally is holding up the sarcasm sign the entire time this bit is
No,
going
actually,
on.
I do believe Flynn believes that, in the future, maybe.
Could be. Well, here's the thing. We don't have all the information. We know where we want to head next as far as gathering information. However, do we want to mess with this, or do we want to just leave it be? Because I would be fine with not getting into too much danger.
Parker, do you,
know,
want
I had to ask.
read stories, or do you want to live one?
Damn it, you got me. All right, I'll ask the teacher or something. I'm suddenly very nervous. It's just
That means you're
I'm very
heading in the right
sweaty.
direction.
Janet, can you give me a description of these two guys you overheard and any other information regarding this conversation so I can track down this jilted girlfriend?
Hang on.
Copyright.
She starts like going back through the song that she was singing at the moment.
Gotta get that copyright, though.
I don't.
I like the
don't
idea
know.
that
How much
Davey's
would I
just been reading a book
remember
in the corner the
of
whole
them?
time.
know they both smoked.
Yep.
I know they were both hanging out back there.
I mean, how hard would it be to find out who was the person who broke up recently in like the last
Jennifer.
couple of hours?
Jennifer. Girl's name was Jennifer. Remember that.
It was Stephanie.
It was Stephanie.
Jennifer is Parker's mom.
Oh, right.
My mom?
Do you
No,
Someone
hang on.
cheated on Parker's mom?
do you want to actually
My
try to
mom was
remember
going out with
information,
someone?
or do you just want to see
Yes.
what Janet comes up with? Okay. Just go ahead and roll. Just roll for mind.
Just straight mind.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh boy, that's a 2.
I believe in you.
Come on.
Does your
Go.
pride help?
Not really, but you know
Thanks.
what? It worked out. I got a 6.
Yes!
Okay. You can provide Elizabeth with a pretty good description of these guys, that they smoked, that they were hanging out by the general store, and the girlfriend's name is Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie. That's right.
And you can give like a
Yeah.
good age range so that you know they're older.
Like a few years older than us.
I roll contact on this.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what contact would be, right? I was like, I'm never gonna use contact, but here we are.
I was about to say, no, but this is Liz's bread and butter.
Nice,
I would-
love it.
I have a big fat goose egg on contact.
So we are getting towards time. So
Yeah.
I think that is something we can save while you're actually like out looking for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
To see if you like find her and what the outcome of that might be,
Yeah.
instead of just trying to think if you know where this person might be.
Yeah, trying to shoehorn it all in at this point.
We're amazing. You guys did great.
Yeah, I think Parker will just like kind of be like, all right, so we're gonna sleep on it. I think we got to keep our little clockwork creations to avoid suspicion,
Yeah.
but obviously we won't say anything within earshot unless we're in this room or we write things down. Don't speak it out loud. That fair for everyone?
I'm keeping the hammer on me.
You know what? That
Oh.
makes sense.
I'll be
That's not that
careful as
suspicious.
to what is said in front of mine.
That's a good point. We got to ask question. Oh my god, this is gonna be so difficult. But
Oh,
luckily, I don't have to worry about it tonight because we're going to bed. Cool.
Because the thing is, if Liz stops talking in front of hers and spreading rumors, it looks suspicious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Flynn literally said, "Don't change how you're speaking. Just be wary of it." Right? Like,
Yeah. So she just has to be careful of what she's spreading.
mhm.
Think it'd be
Ooh.
suspicious if I taped it to my boombox?
yes.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Considering how affectionate you usually are with it, yes.
Parker
Sorry,
definitely has a
Davey.
tummy ache.
But it turns out Hummingbird's evil.
Not all of them. Probably.
You guys want to?
Actually,
You guys
Janet,
wanna-
all birds are communist drones.
Mm-hmm. They work for the
Amen.
bourgeoisie.
Snaps around to look at the two of them. Oh,
Jointly holding the sarcasm sign.
Liz is holding up the sarcasm sign still.
damn it! This character's gonna be so much fun.
With that, though, I think that is a good place to wrap up for this evening. Let's go ahead, go around one more time and have all of you tell us who you are and where you could be found on the internet, what you're working on, and probably set up for a raid here in a little bit. Check out Grimbeard if he manages to hold on just a little bit longer.
Yar.
So let's go go ahead and start with Tess.
I'm Tess, and you can find me under basically Silver Trinket on whatever, or on TikTok, Instagram. I just share stuff on TikTok. I do not make it right now, and on the Discord server mainly.
Bro.
Well, I'm pretty much just on Discord because I generally find social media appalling as a human being, but that may be just me. So yeah, another incentive to join the Discord is you'll actually get to see that I exist outside of the show, and I just flip out of existence when the camera's off.
Colin?
You can find me in the Discord and in my Discord and at Colin Valentine on Instagram and on YouTube, where I do my Beyond the Panel comic book podcast weekly, but we're on hiatus right now. And I also, with Maria, who does other Tales, Forgotten Troop stuff, we are doing a Venture Brothers rewatch podcast night on Gargantua 1 on YouTube.
Is one of our lovely regulars here. Darren.
Hello, I'm Darren again. You can find me personally. I'm most active on Twitter. Yes, Twitter. At D_StevensonJR. But the main place you should go check me out is my podcast. I DM a Dungeons and Dragons podcast in my homebrew world of Avara. Sorry, I mispronounced my own world. We do episode every 2 weeks. It's on literally every podcast platform, so just search for us. Or you can find all of our socials and links, halfcasters.com.
And Kyle.
Kyle, Technomancer Kyle, all that fun Kyle things. You can find me on like Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Though I'm less active. Yeah, that thing.
I don't know of any other name. I think it's just Twitter.
I mean, I've heard Hellscape before for it, so I mean.
That's my personal name for it, but I did also appreciate the Kingdom Hearts fandom chiming in with like their name shuffling thing for Organization 13 members.
Yeah. I'm also on Blue Sky, many different locations on Discord. Honestly, if you're on a Discord and I'm not secretly there, then like you're not on a real Discord. I'm kidding.
That's fine.
I exist in a lot of fake Discords. Maybe I don't actually exist when the camera's off.
But yeah, I do a lot of things. I stream here on Twitch myself. I make tabletop role-playing games and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. If you are watching the VOD on either Twitch or YouTube whenever this gets published, make sure you join us next Thursday for continuation of this campaign. We'll be going for 8 episodes and no more.
Woo.
No more.
That's
You
too
promise?
That's too
No.
Promise?
But there is also another chance to catch us on Sundays for either our usual Masks campaign, our ongoing long campaign, or some other one-shots. Doing this Sunday is going to be much more chill, just some of us hanging out, maybe doing some crafts. If you have burning questions, you can answer some questions. Hopefully we'll be back next week with our next episode of Masks, so we can actually get some of this drama resolved that's been just sitting
Stagnating.
I've
forever.
had too long to think about this. This is going to be a disaster.
I definitely. Well, I've kind of not been thinking about it because I'm terrified of what's going to happen. I'm amazed if Silly walks out of this alive and with all her girlfriends.
Until that happens, I hope all of you have a great rest of your night, a wonderful Friday, and we'll see you here on Sunday or back next. No, for next. Please come over to Grimbeard Adventures and check out his content with us. Otherwise, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.